And here we go, the James Well Radio Show, all set for another fabulous bumper edition. So hold on to whatever you're near and let's get this show on the road, baby.
James Well, the voice of reason on the James Well Radio Show.
Hello. Nice to see you there. How good of you to join us for edition 50. Almost a year of the James Well Radio Show online. And we won't say too much. We'll see if we get to is it 52, Robbo?
52 in a year, yes.
52 in a year. Just keep me right because, I'm slightly dyslexic. But we got fabulous music on the show today from the lovely Sarah Jane Morris, who was in the Communards, who's a good pal of ours. That's nice, isn't it?
It is very nice. I've heard the album's very good.
Yeah, and also you may have seen me on Twitter playing around with the new Ford Mondeo. So later on, because Jeremy Clarkson's getting a bit old now, isn't he?
He is.
So I thought that we ought to do a motoring feature in this program. So a little bit later on, Rob, you can ask me about the new Ford Mondeo. I never thought I could become Mondeo man.
Do you get to wear a uniform and everything?
Oh, well, I'm hoping so. I am hoping so. But the news just goes from bad to worse. The world is falling apart. So today's program is aimed to cheer us all up. All right. And here's a good story, first of all, out of the papers the other day. 3 out of 4 women prefer chubby chaps.
Right. What if you're married?
I don't care. Let's not complicate the whole thing. Whilst we're winning, 3 out of 4, right? 3 out of 4 prefer a chubby chap.
Is chubby just before obese, or is chubby obese?
I don't know, but they don't really say that. And most men prefer a curvaceous lady. So that's good news, isn't it, for all those people who were worried about being overweight. I mean, I know lots of depressed skinny people around. And if I was skinny, I'd be depressed too.
Yeah, but if you're skinny, you could just eat more, couldn't you?
Well, apparently some people eat loads and they can't put on weight. We're always told obesity is bad, that we are becoming a world of fat people. And, of course, the vast majority of people on the planet, to be sensible and serious for a moment, haven't got enough food. But we in the West gorge ourselves. And obviously the reason is because we fancy each other more if we're a little fat.
I don't feel so bad already now. You've cheered me up.
I know you would. And here's another thing that all got to do with food. I found this in the paper the other day, and you probably don't know about this. How well up are you on lesbianism?
Probably not enough.
Really? Well, lesbians, and apologies to those listening to us who are lesbians, but by the way, if you are offended by anything that I say, get in touch, jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. Won't make any difference whatsoever. You can complain till you're blue in the face, but if you feel like it, complain to jameswhaleradio@gmail.com. Now, lesbians, do you know where lesbians came from, by the way?
Venus?
No, actually, they came from the Isle of Lesbos.
Really?
That's a true story. I'm not messing around. Yeah, that's where lesbians were invented, on the island of Lesbos.
Okay.
Anyway, lesbians are, according to a recent survey, 25% more likely to be overweight than heterosexual women.
A more relaxed approach in the bedroom?
Well, that's basically it. The US government spent $3 million on the sexual orientation and obesity study, and after figures showed that nearly 3/4 of gay women in the country were classified as overweight, by contrast, male heterosexuals were nearly twice as likely to be overweight as gay men. So gay women are overweight, all right, and heterosexual men are overweight. If you are a straight woman, you're probably good. And if you are a gay man, you are probably good. And of course, that just goes to show that opposites attract?
It does, actually, yeah.
Yeah, fascinating the facts that you can find out. And whilst, my friends, you ponder upon those facts, maybe you'd like to take a little commercial break and find out some of the things, of course, you can get through jameswhaleradio.co.uk.
Would you like a free audiobook? Our friends at Audible are giving everybody a free audiobook just by going to the James Whale Radio Show website, jameswhaleradio.co.uk. All you need to do is click on the Audible link, register, and you'll get your free audiobook. It's a bit like a book club, and remember, you can leave at any time and you still get to keep your free audiobook. So what are you waiting for? Just head over to the James Whale Radio Show website, jameswhaleradio.co.uk, and click on that Audible link now.
Now, one of the good news stories, I think, on the news at the moment is this of Aisha King. After having been ridiculed, and I think the media has to take the blame for quite a lot of this, so does Southampton Hospital, and so do the police for overreacting. I think that it is good news, and hopefully Aisha and his family will be able to get on and do what they need to do. Lots of response, of course, on Facebook. And if you want to get on and talk about anything in the programme or anything you want to hear us talk about, Facebook is the place to go. Angie Murphy says, funny how two doctors can leave 3 children alone in an apartment whilst out enjoying tapas. One disappears and they don't even get charged with neglect. Yet 2 parents who were not breaking any laws can be put in prison because they took their child elsewhere for treatment. Angie, I know what you mean, but I think a little unfair. Jeff Hobbs says we are only being told what the press are being fed by those in the know. So we're not getting the full story about the more this goes on, the more it looks like they have done this through despair as the hands of the NHS were tied. Of course, now we know the European arrest warrant has been rescinded. I think that's good. Phil says, stupid situation. Whatever happened to compassion? You're right, Phil. Whatever happened to common sense, mate, as well? Mark O'Neill says, the reckless attitude of the parents in removing their child from an environment where he was receiving treatment cannot and should not be tolerated. Mark, I don't think you have children. Moira Manson says, it's very hard to comment on this case, but I back the police. If they had done nothing and that child had died, they would have got it in the neck. It's a no-win situation. But parents should have gone about things the right way, and that would have saved a lot of... I think they did. I'm sorry, Moira. I think what the police shouldn't have done is perhaps be quite so quick to go to the media without maybe checking the story out first, Moira. I think if that had been done, maybe a lot of this would not have happened. Gary Miller says, no one is in the wrong. Hospital, family, nor the police. Let them free and move on. Well, they have let them free. But Gary, you know, I've already heard the police and the doctors say lessons will be learned. Well, I hate that phrase. Diane Hammond says, a parental instinct is to help your child. And given that they've obviously done their homework for treatment available in Spain, that may be the better option, I would do exactly the same. They're not criminals, but loving parents who are being treated like one. I'm afraid I agree with you, Diane. And Joe says, let his parents find him the best help they can. And I think the good news, of course, is that now we have seen that that is exactly what has happened, and things are getting a little bit better. So that's good news, I think. Very good news indeed. Robbo, you're very quiet.
No, I was just going to say that I would do anything for my daughter, include breaking the law if it saved her life. I think any parent would.
Yeah, I think you know. I think the problem was that the doctors jumped to the wrong conclusion. Had probably told the parents no, that sort of treatment that they wanted wasn't available. They couldn't have it, and it wouldn't have helped anyway. And if you yourself have seen something and you're convinced it would help, you should be encouraged to do it. And they were popping off to try and raise the money to spend on this treatment, which hopefully will help in some way. Who knows? better to do something than to do nothing at all. I imagine that somebody got onto the police from the hospital, possibly overexcitedly. The police got the wrong end of the stick. They went to the media, and the rest, as they say, is history. But the good news is public opinion, including the opinion of the Prime Minister and the Deputy Prime Minister, who actually got themselves involved as well, has meant, as so many people on Facebook and Twitter have said over the last few days, sense has prevailed. And I'm sure practically everyone, I'm sure there's nobody out there that doesn't wish the King family all the best in the future, because we do. Now, where are we going from here? What did you wanted to talk about something? What was that?
The iCloud thing that was going on in the news all week. Celebrity nude pictures.
Yes, I don't understand that. I keep getting asked to up my iCloud, whatever it is. Do I need to do that?
That's your storage space because you've got a lot of pictures and movies on your phone.
Yeah. Mm. Do I need to put, are my naked photographs going to be okay?
There's a possibility that there might not be.
Really?
Depends on how good your password is. I mean, I change my password regularly. I just keep them simple, like Star Wars characters. So last week it was Sandman, and the week before that it was Banther. And the week
Do you think we should be telling everybody that your password is something from Star Wars?
Yeah, but they're never going to guess Jawa, are they?
No, I suppose not. And quite frankly, if they saw some of the pictures I've seen of you naked, rather than anything else, it'd probably make you feel a little sick.
Apparently, being slightly overweight is quite sexy.
Well, it is. And as I said before, 3 out of 4 women are attracted to fat gits.
And I want to know how I can become a lesbian, because I think that's the way to go.
Well, you need to sort of start dressing as a woman, I think. Then, I mean, if you really wanted to be a lesbian, you've got to have a sex change, and that's really pretty radical stuff. I just stay as you are.
Yeah, I don't want people hacking me bits off.
I'm not really sure how you, as a heterosexual interested in women, would benefit from being a lesbian. If you follow my reasoning, you'd see what I mean.
Okay.
Tell you what, a more serious point. I would like to know, and anybody out there could get in touch and tell me, I have both lesbian and gay friends. And my lesbian girlfriends, if you will, and my gay male friends cannot get on with each other.
Really?
There is very little solidarity between male and female homosexuals.
Wow, and you see them marching in the streets together.
Yeah, I know, but you don't often see them hanging out together and having maybe I've got the wrong end of the stick. Maybe it's just the people I know. Always get in touch anytime on this program, jameswellradio@gmail.com. By the way, did you know that if you went to our website, jameswellradio.co.uk, log on there, have a look at everything, listen to any of our 50 previous programs, and also you can download the Audible link, as you've just heard, and you get a free audiobook. Which you could then give away, couldn't you, as a Christmas present? Christmas is only 15 weeks away.
Wow, 15 weeks?
Actually, yeah, I better sign some more copies of my ordinary autobiography, the book, because although nobody likes to buy books anymore, they all just sort of download them or get the ebook. I've still got a couple of the proper books. Make great Christmas presents.
That's right, yep.
Get your orders in now. Actually, I've just had a thought. Instead of sending Christmas cards, order up a load of my books. Then you can write your message inside, and it's like a Christmas card and a present wrapped up in one.
Perfect.
It's a good idea, isn't it?
It's a very good idea.
Now, shall we go into our motoring feature brought to you by Ford?
Okay. Oh, this is exciting.
Yeah, okay. And if you saw on Twitter, you saw me with the new Mondeo. And can I tell you, when I actually first saw this car, it's big, by the way, very big, but I drive an old, sort of fairly beaten up, fairly old car, but I love the car because I've had it 15 years. And all right, it is a Mercedes, and it's my pride and joy, but it's quite an old car. and quite a small one, a sort of two-seater car. But I thought that this Mondeo looks a bit big, and then I looked at it parked beside my car, and it's no longer. It's no longer than the car. So it's not a hugely long car, but it's got loads of room in it. And when I first saw it, I thought, it's a new Mercedes or it's a new BMW. Very nice. And also, Fords have brought out this incredible engine where you actually can do sort of 45, 50 miles to the gallon fairly easily.
Is this the new hybrid system that they've introduced?
I'm not sure if this one that I was looking at had the hybrid engine in, but it doesn't. It's not going to be available until next year.
What, so you saw a new car before it's even out?
Yeah, made a few of them, and they just brought them over to show various influential people. And I mean, how much more influential could you get than James Whale? So obviously they wanted me to see it.
Sorry, I was going to ask you some important questions about the car then.
Please do. Yes,
okay.
Carry on.
How many doors?
Well, the one I looked at had 5.
So that's a boot and 4 doors.
Although it looks like a saloon car, and this one I saw had what they call a panoramic roof. So that's the whole of the roof is in glass, and the back door is a tailgate that comes up. But beautiful lines. Does look very much like the Mercedes coupe or the BMW.
And what size engine was it?
One I saw was 2.5 litres.
Ooh, 2.5 litres. And it does 50 miles to the gallon.
Yeah. So that new engines are becoming far more economical.
Wow.
Far more economical. And I have to say, I thought I was looking at a petrol engine, listening to the engine go, but it was a diesel. Very quiet diesel engine.
More importantly, what colour?
Well, the one I saw, the one they're showing everybody at the moment is white.
White is definitely the new sort of graphite grey, isn't it?
White is not the new graphite grey, no. White is white.
Well, I know that, but everyone for the last few years, when they buy a new car, they always go for graphite grey.
Yeah, well, there's a lot of them, so, you know, I tell you something not to go for. Very fashionable at the moment to have a black car, particularly a Range Rover. Don't get a black car.
Shows all the dirt.
And the scratches.
Oh, yeah.
Everything. Yeah. But anyway, very nice. Have a look at this. I think we could get some pictures. You can see the front of it on Twitter. You can get that up and put it on the website, can't you?
Yeah, I can. Did you drive it?
I had a little drive of it. Very nice it was too. You know, when you have a drive of a new car, you know you can't really have it.
Yeah.
You always want it, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
That's always annoying. So, you know, very comfortable. And it's like driving, you know, when you're a limousine. And I tell you, quite often, when you ring up a local cab and some bloke in a Mondeo or a Vauxhall turns up, and you can smell the vomit and the urine and the BO from the people who were out late last night.
Yeah.
And then if you get a slightly better cab firm, they send a car that's nicer and more comfortable. This is that sort of car. If you were going to have a cab and you used to drive Mondeos, look out for the new one. I think absolutely fantastic.
Are you going to go back and get another one? You know, another test drive?
I might do if there's nobody looking. But, you know, they've only got 1 or 2 in the country, so it's a bit difficult.
I think we could steal one, couldn't we?
No, don't say things like that. But listen, if you're looking for a new car next year, hang on and have a look at that one. And it's not going to be hugely expensive. That's also the good thing.
What sort of price bracket?
Well, I mean, sort of starting at about 17 grand.
Wow, that's pretty cheap for a
good car.
Car like that.
Yeah, very nice indeed. So I think, listen, I could do Top Gear, couldn't I? Now
certainly could. Yeah. I think so.
Right, let's have some music. I feel like going and making myself a cup of coffee, so let's play some music now. This is great. This is Sarah Jane Morris, who's an old pal of mine, and she's got an album out called Bloody Rain. Let's talk about global warming when we come back. It's out on the 15th of this month. The album has a sort of kind of an African feel to it. An uplifting and soul-searching album, she says, that covers many topics from love, freedom, honor killings, and I'd be interested to hear that one, child soldiers, corruption, and homophobia. She's got it all here, and it's launched at the Union Chapel on the 18th of September. So here we go. If you want to find out more, sarahjanemorris.co.uk. Have a little listen to this.
I can imagine lying beside you. I can feel your hair on my cheek. Can you feel the love that's between us? Can you feel it? I'm not so worried now if I never see you again. You see, the thing is, no matter how far, we're always linked through space and time. You're in my memory, part of your history. You're in my memory. Can you feel the love?
There we are, Sarah J. Morris, and a track from the album Bloody Rain. That's called Feel the Love. And as I said, if you want to find out more, hear more, and even go and see Sarah Jane, check out her website, sarahjanemorris.co.uk. Now, don't forget, if you go to our front page at jameswellradio.co.uk, click on the Love Film link, you can download a month's free movies. And actually, I don't know how this works, but if you've already done it and had a month's free movies, and then you cancelled your registration after you'd had your month's free movies, can you then go back and have another month's free movies?
Use a different email address.
I just asked that question, just as a thought. Anyway, so why don't you go and have another month's free movies? Download the links to Love Film And they've got some pretty good movies up there at the moment. Now, going back to climate change, global warming, or whatever, I've been labelled by some a climate change denier. Well, those are only by idiots who say that. I have never, ever, ever denied climate change. Climate change is a normal phenomenon. It may be increased by mankind, but then as mankind is sort of a normal part of evolution, then that will be normal too. I mean, the possibility is that we could evolve ourselves out of existence. All right? And I'm just bringing this up now because the forecasters have said that we're going to have warm weather until November. And I think that's great. And then there are people saying, oh, yeah, global warming. Actually, global warming isn't proved. And climate change is a natural phenomenon. It may be hastened by mankind. And eventually the climate will change, whether it's through a meteorite striking the planet, whether it's through some of these so-called super volcanoes going off. Eventually, mankind won't be able to inhabit the planet. I imagine that the planet will be here long after we have ceased to exist. I'm not depressing anybody too much, I hope.
No, I'm still with you.
Good. So some of your thoughts, I did stick this out earlier on Facebook, and these are some of your thoughts. Aid says, as my dear grandmother used to say, red sky at night, angel delight. Red sky in the morning, angel delight. Very strange grandmother you had, Aid. Val says, I guess the energy companies won't be pleased to hear it's going to be warm until November. David says, nothing humans can do will change the climate. It's natural. The UK was once an Amazon rainforest, changing towards an ice age during the prehistoric era. There were no CFCs then. It's interesting, isn't it? Martin Brammer says, stop being so silly, James. Bit like the ice caps going and the hottest summer ever forecast. We're still waiting. It's all about funding and justifying scientific research. It's all about tax. It's all about rubbish. That's Martin. Mark Cole, on the other hand, says, I don't believe the green terrorists. There's plenty of data to suggest that climate change is a naturally occurring state. This is just an exercise to charge silly green taxes. I agree with you, Mark. I think, though, mankind is possibly hastening the next change. And if we are, I'm pretty sure there's not a lot we could do to stop it. Steve Palmer says they won't admit it because they're making money through it. I'm looking through all your contacts here to find somebody who agrees. Fingers crossed, James, the UK would be the best place in the world if we had decent summers, so let's hope it changes quickly, says Darren Phillips. Phil, depends what climate change you're referring to. The climate has been changing for millions of years. The ice caps are melting and reforming without causing an ice age. Well, let's hope so. I mean, we could. Here's the thing, Robbo. We could go back into an ice age before long.
It's a good film, that.
Yeah, but that could happen. There are a number of scientists who predict that we are living in one of those small interludes on this planet that is not an ice age, and the natural state of the Earth ought to be ice and snow. Interesting thought, isn't it? Carl Frost, aptly named, Carl, instead of spending money trying to stop it, they should try to prepare the country for when things change. But that costs, so they will wait, we will suffer. The PM at the time will say lessons need to be learned, and we'll still suffer. Do you know, I think you've got a really good point. A really, really, really good point, to be honest with you. Ah, dear, oh dear, oh dear. Ah, right.
I heard that with all these volcanoes in Iceland, that just one volcano wipes out all the efforts that we've been doing for years.
Oh, easily. And there's one in, sorry, I'm just looking for something I lost in the paper. And there's one actually in Iceland at the moment that's worrying quite a lot of people.
Well, there you go then. So, can they come and collect my bin more often now then?
Well, that's interesting, isn't it? I noticed the Home Office admitted they've lost 50,000 migrants who were told to leave the country.
Told to leave the country.
Yeah, they were told they had to leave. They had no business being in Britain. 50,000, and they've lost them. And it's interesting, isn't it? Here we are telling the French to sort the problems of Calais out, which I think is very unfair because imagine if we had a load of people in Dover and they didn't want to stay here. They wanted to get to France. What would we do? We'd probably facilitate them getting to France more quickly. And luckily, the French are trying not to, although it must be really galling. I think it's about time that we, when I say we, the British government and the French got together to sort out the problems of these people. I don't know who can blame them, really, when the part of the world that they come from is falling apart, being held to ransom by nutters. What are these people, by the way? The ones with the black flags who every now and then get down and give the road a big smackaroon. What do these people think they are? Carrying out acts of terrorism, murdering people on film, and we're putting up with it. It seems to me.
How's the media blackout going?
Well, it's not going very well now since I started saying that.
Oh, okay.
But it's a good point. Good point. What are the other really important topics of the week? Oh, Dyson's launched a robot that cleans your house. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I don't need one. I've got a Mrs. W for that.
Does it lift up the rug and sweep everything underneath it?
Of course, yeah. Yeah. What, the robot or Mrs. W?
Well, either or. Have you got a rug?
Yeah, probably both. Well, there's no point because you're not allowed to have high-powered vacuum cleaners, kettles or toasters anymore, are you?
That's true. I'd imagine a Dyson would be quite high-powered.
Well, it can't be. You can't produce them anymore.
Yeah, but the robot one can't be plugged into a wall, can it? It'd have to be battery-driven.
Well, yeah, I suppose it would actually, wouldn't it, when you think about it?
Otherwise, it wouldn't be able to leave the room, or it would get tangled in its own cable.
How funny. How funny are you? I had one of those, actually. When I think about it, I had one of those. They're round ones, and they, when they get near a wall, they turn round and go a different way, and they vacuum as they go.
Yeah.
It didn't suck very well, and in the end, it just ran out of steam.
Didn't it go and charge itself back up again?
No, I didn't think about doing that. You had to plug it in and do it yourself.
Oh, maybe you got an earlier model.
Might have to think about getting one, because that would be all right. You could just watch the telly, put your feet up and let the thing clean the house
noise.
What?
The robot will be constantly going around your house making the normal hoovering noise, and it'd be hoovering past you while you're watching a film. It would just be so irritating.
No, I don't think it... Well, it might be irritating. You don't have to have it... You can tell it when it can work. But here's the other thing. Listen, how much power is it going to use?
If it's one of these cyclone vacuum cleaners like they've already got in their current range, I'd imagine quite a lot.
Well, yeah, you never know. I saw this the other day. The best anti-aging technique, because you're looking a bit old for your years, I think.
I think so,
The best anti-aging technique could be standing up. Scientists believe, after discovering that spending more time on your feet protects DNA. And a study found that too much sitting down shortens something called telomeres, whatever they are. What are telomeres? The protective caps that sit at the end of chromosomes. Have we all got those? I suppose we have. Short telomeres have been linked to premature aging, disease and early death. Spending less time on the sofa or at your desk and standing up would be better for us. I might get up in a minute. Let's get Sarah J. Morris on, and I'll have a bit of a boogie.
Okay, I'll join in.
Okay. Bloody Rain.
This morning from your precious daughter. Time to get dressed, a carriage to the slaughter. When the band and the guard, they have all gone home, and you sit in your room all alone. Yeah, yeah, think back, think back. All your problems float away. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that monster man insane. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that bloody, bloody, bloody rain.
You had all those villagers singing your song. You had them dancing on the family graves. All the relatives that you butchered, you knew you were wrong. You stood there giving your royal wave. Yeah, yeah, think back to the highlight of your day. Yeah, yeah, think back. All your problems float away. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that monster man insane. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that bloody, bloody, bloody rain. One by one, you had them bleed and roar, but no tears you ensured fell down to the floor. And when they couldn't be beaten or broken anymore, you simply had them shot. The highlight of your day, yeah, yeah, think back. All your problems float away. Here comes the rain, washes away the trapped before spring comes again. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes the torture and the pain. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that monster man insane. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that bloody, bloody rain. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that monster man insane. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. Here comes that torture and the pain. Here comes the rain, washes away the chapter before spring comes again. Here comes the rain, here comes that bloody, bloody rain. Here comes the rain, here comes the rain. The bloody rain. Here comes the rain. Here comes the rain. Here comes the rain.
So there we are. That's Sarah Jane Morris and the title track from Sarah's new album. It's called Bloody Rain, if you'll excuse the expression. Sarah's launching the album at the Union Chapel on the 18th of September. And if you want to go and see her, you can get in touch going to her website at sarahjanemorris.co.uk. And talking about websites, if you go to ours, jameswellradio.co.uk/shop, then you might be wanting to do some Christmas shopping earlier. We should have done Christmas cards, non-religious Christmas cards, shouldn't we?
We could have done a picture with the whale, you know, the whale logo. We could have done that.
Yeah, we could have. Why didn't we do that?
Well, we still can.
Well, let's. Why don't we? If anybody's interested, get in touch, and we will let you have some Whaley Christmas cards and great presents: T-shirts, baseball caps. What else could you have?
Audio messages. We could do personalised Christmas cards where you write a Christmas card.
Yeah, okay, signed copy of my book. You can have that from the shop. And lots of celebrities are doing these personalised audio messages now for your phone, aren't they?
That's right, we could do that.
Well, yeah, if you would like James Well to say, hello, you're through to Sarah Jane Morris. Sarah can't come to the phone right now, but is there anything I can do? Okay, well, listen, if you leave your message after the pips, I'll make sure that Sarah gets back to you as soon as possible.
Brilliant.
I mean, what? 20 quid?
Yeah, we could do that, can we?
20 quid includes posting it back to you, comes to you on a what? CD?
Yeah, we could put it on
Or
CD or send it via email to them.
Email it to you?
Yeah.
As a whatever? Yeah. If you want a personalised message, we've got to find ways of keeping this program going and funding it, haven't we?
Well, we've got to buy you a new car by the sound of things.
Well, no, go out and buy a new Mondeo, and I'll go and ask them to cut me in. That's the best way to do it, isn't it?
Lovely new Mondeo.
Now, I want to talk seriously for a moment about. We've only got 2 weeks to go about the Scottish vote. All right. There have been some fairly worrying stories saying that if the Scots vote to leave the Union, so therefore if the Yes campaign win, it could cause sterling to crash, which would affect us in England. But I'm in two minds, because if I had a flag making company, I would be hoping for the Scots to vote yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Because you've got to make a new flag, haven't you?
Well, we've got to make 2 new flags.
Yeah, and that's another thing. Well, the English flag, the flag of St. George, I think, by the way, is the dullest flag in existence.
Yeah, I can sort of see your point, yeah.
I would like it to be the 3 lions. You know, the English team?
Yeah, I go with that.
Yeah, I'd like to see 3 lions. And I'll tell you, it's about time. You know, we're moaning. This is slightly serious, actually. This is very serious. We're really affronted and disgusted by what this so-called, what are they calling themselves now? The Thug Brigade, ISIS. Yeah, that lot of morons. And we're championing every time you get these people out. Unfortunately, quite a lot of them sharing my hairstyle, walking around draped in the Crusader flag. We forget what the Crusaders did. I mean, you know, talk about beheadings, talk about a genocide, and to a vast extent, if you look back in history, that's what happened. That's what these people trying to spread Christianity around the world were doing to anyone who didn't share their religion, which is why I'm not a religious person. Well, there are many reasons. That's just one of them. And so perhaps it is time for us to have a new flag. Perhaps it's time to have the debate about a new flag. What do you think?
The Union Jack's definitely going to have to change if they go independent.
Well, of course, yeah. You know.
That'll be like the Cross of St. George anyway then, wouldn't it?
Yeah, of course. But, you know, maybe we could throw the Welsh flag, which doesn't exist in the Union flag, into it. But I mean, if my thoughts are that we should be trying to get less nationalism, less borders, not more. As soon as you've got borders, people want to protect them, and then arguments start. Yeah, it's the same with religion, isn't it?
And my neighbours.
And your neighbour. Have you not sorted them out yet?
The council have given us permission to sort it all out, so it's all been resolved.
I told you what to do. Right. So anyway, I think we first of all we need to sort of look positively on the fact that if you have a company that makes flags, Scottish independence might be a good thing, but the Scots are going to have to pay their debts off, of which there are many. They're not going to have sterling, and quite frankly, there will be a bit of a backlash from the English. Now, that all seems to me to be fairly negative. Why would the Scots want to rock the boat? I mean, what on earth is the point? I don't understand it. I don't understand why it's suddenly come to this. But there we are. I'm not allowed to have my say, am I? Because I'm English.
Or half Welsh.
Well, I'm half Welsh. Yes. Thank you for that. So anyway, I think this is a pretty worrying time. I mean, what's going to happen when the trains get up to Northumberland? They're not going to be able to go across the border straight into Scotland, are they?
If they leave the UK and they don't sign up to Europe...
Well, they won't be allowed to sign up to Europe immediately. They will be on their own. They will have to apply. They will not. I mean, just legally, they won't be able to carry on with the money that they have, that money will suddenly change and in many cases won't even have the value that it has now.
So technically they would be trespassing without a passport then, if they tried to cross the border.
Yeah, because they wouldn't be members of the European Union. They would have less rights in England than people from France, Italy, Germany, and any other part of the European Union.
So they wouldn't have human rights then in Scotland?
They wouldn't have I don't think. Now, it's an interesting debate. I'm not sure. But would they actually have the right to come and work and live in Britain? What about those people from Scotland who just happen to be living in England or working in England? What would happen then?
This is really, really complicated.
I know. So I think I'm going to have a couple of weeks off or something just to get my head around it.
Just vote no. That's the obvious answer.
Well, no, we're not allowed to influence people, so it must be up to individuals who can vote.
Okay. Then.
If they're listening to this program.
Or vote yes.
Or vote yes. Well, why don't you, in the referendum, vote yes? Or, if you prefer, vote no.
But no would be the better option.
Or, during the referendum, why don't you just do what most people do? Go to the pub or watch TV.
Complain about it afterwards.
Yeah. And not bother to vote. 3 choices.
But no would be the best one.
No wouldn't. Depends whether you want no. You know, you're doing it. You can't be partisan on this. You have to say yes, no, or don't bother.
Okay.
But afterwards, we can really get stuck in.
And moan.
Yeah, and I'm sure we will. I'm sure, it'll be interesting to see what happens. But front page of the Daily Telegraph the other day, a yes vote could cause sterling to crash. Britain would be plunged into a currency crisis if Scotland vote for independence, with a run on banks and money fleeing the UK, leading to a drop in the value of the pound, according to one of the world's major investment banks, Goldman Sachs. There we are. That's a cheery way to end the programme, what?
So to recap, a yes vote would be absolutely terrible.
No, you can't say that, can you, really? Because that would be influencing people. They must be allowed to make up their own mind.
Right. Got you.
Are you sure? Now, do you understand it?
Yes. So,
vote
no.
A no vote means we'd stay as we are and get on. A yes vote means Scotland would become independent and all that would entail. And then they would have to apply to join, I don't know, whether they'd have to join the Commonwealth if they wanted to join the European Union if they wanted to try and get monetary union with England if they wanted to. Would Britain cease to exist?
Yeah.
Or would Northern Ireland, Wales and England continue to be Britain?
End of the world as we know it, basically, a yes vote.
You keep on doing that, and you really shouldn't. I think that's probably a very good time for us to say goodbye until next week. And thank you to all those of you who've come and given us a try for the first ever time. And tell your friends to join us, jameswellradio.co.uk. 50 hours with guests like Boy George. Who else have we had on?
We've had Nigel Farage on. Nigel
Farage, yeah. A long interview with Nigel Farage. We've got all sorts of people up there. Yeah. All kinds of people.
Owen Paul, he's Scottish.
Yeah, yes, very, very good point. Owen Paul
we like the Scottish on this show.
We do like the Scots. We like the Welsh. We like the English, the Irish, the French, the Germans, the Russians, the Americans. We like everybody. The Africans, the Indians, the Pakistanis, the Afghans, the Chinese, the Japanese, the Koreans.
Alaskans,
North Americans, South Americans. In fact, the whole world is one great bundle of love. It could be. See you next time.
James Well, the voice of reason on the James Well Radio Show.
You're listening to the James Well Radio Show. For more information, visit www.jameswellradio.co.uk. Why not check us out on Facebook.com/JamesWellRadioShow or follow James on Twitter @TheJamesWhale. James Whale, the voice of reason.